Hello and welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. When we last left off, we got a couple of jobs. So, let's take on the bungalow. As you can see, I kind of got a little extra money. I did a little bit of one of the free plays, and, decided, would be a good idea. Oh, volcanologist. Uh, mm, let's start with 40, like we normally do. Uh, so I wanted to do this one as opposed to doing the playground, because the playground's kind of big. I mean, the house is big too, but I also kind of wanted to play around with the free play areas a bit. I don't think I'll do those on camera because, it doesn't make a ton of sense to. They're free play areas, and you kind of aren't limited by a whole lot. I do wish there was music, though. I think that would make things a lot better. I guess you'll just have to be entertained by my dulcet tones. And hopefully, this one won't take nearly as long as it did the first time I played through. Um, I admit that I was being super slow about doing it when I was doing it on my own, but, you know, that's kind of part of the fun. I will admit that I will be happy when I can kind of start getting the soaps, because it makes life a lot easier. Okay. Finish the 25. So we can get the driveway all the way done. So, I also have the DLC for this. I'm playing this through, Game Pass, which is kinda nice. Uh, a really good way to be able to play games that you're not entirely certain you're gonna love, and now you don't have to worry about, you know, spending 30, 40, 50, $70 on something that it turns out you don't love. Mm, okay. Downside is they do pull games pretty regularly, and it can be a little hard to get to those games quickly. It bums me out a bit. I am not the fastest at games in the world, which means that I often kind of end up missing stuff. Um, think this all counts as driveway too. Think. Yeah. I don't know why this would count as driveway, but I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't separate it like that. Okay. Here we go. Let's keep this going over this way by doing the garage. So if I'm remembering correctly, there is some, because this is technically a Square Enix published game, there is some Final Fantasy VII Remake content. I actually have Final Fantasy VII, and I don't know if I'll play it for the channel, primarily because it's an open world game, and as such, you just kind of, you tend to be stuck watching me faff about, and that's kind of a problem. I don't want to, as much as I enjoy kind of running around in games, I also know that it can be irritating to watch. So, I don't know if Final Fantasy VII Remake is ever going to be a game that gets played for the channel. Maybe I'll stream it? That might be nice, but it probably won't get played for the channel. And that actually raises the question, of whether or not it makes sense to do streaming for the channel. I have the ability to. I specifically built this computer to handle being able to stream. That's something that I was interested in doing for a good while. And honestly, part of the reason I stopped was I stopped having the time. So I would absolutely be keen on the idea of doing streams, if that's something that people would be interested in watching. But given the nature of things with Twitch, I doubt it would ever happen there. Which bums me out quite a bit, because, things have gotten quite hectic over there. Let's move on here. Actually makes me kind of sad, because it's where I started cutting my teeth in, like, game stuff. I did, I think, my first stream sometime in, of course it's not up anymore, but, like, I think I did my first stream in 2018, 2019, something like that. I finally had a computer that could handle doing it. Like, I had a, it was, I think my first stream was quite literally a Minecraft stream. And I had fun doing it. I don't think anybody showed up, but I did have fun, and that's kind of, in the grand scheme of things, that's what's most important. But I'm not doing this for, fame and fortune and or anything like that. I'm just trying to have fun, and I think honestly that's why I stopped playing. That's why I stopped playing Dragon Quest. I just kind of stopped having fun playing it, which is really rather a shame, because it is a fun game. It's just you get into role-playing games like that, and you get to a point where it's tedium. And unfortunately, most Dragon Quest games, my knowledge, kind of do that thing where, oh yeah, you beat the game, but you didn't really get the ending. You didn't get the proper canonical ending until you know, you take care of this, that, or the other. And it's always post-game content. And, I'm not a completionist by any stretch of the imagination because, like, I'm just not. Um, so it can be a little bit irritating to have to deal with. And I said in a community post, though, I will absolutely be going back to it. I love the game. It's a good game. It's just, I got to a point where I was just kind of dreading recording. Um, and that's the last thing I actually want. I don't want to hate recording. I don't want to get to a point where it's like, why am I even doing this? And it can very easily get to that point, which is kind of frustrating, you know. So I try to, keep high spirits, and if I get to a point where it's like, no thank you, I will just stop. And I think that may be something I have to kind of make pretty explicit. Oh yeah, Eh, there's a cat. Also, volcano. Did say her son was a volcanologist. So maybe that's the volcano he's studying. Anyway, not to be so maudlin about things, I have to put together that list of uh, games that I have access to, and I don't know where a good spot to put that would be. I mean, there is, of course, Google Docs, there is Sheets, but I don't know if I want to put it on Google. So I'll figure something out. And from there, we'll absolutely have that list up. So you can say, hey, you've got this game, can you do this game? With the understanding that, the ultimate decision is mine. I will always sit down and play through the game a little bit to see how I feel about playing it long term. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I'll absolutely do this in the short term, and then you get to it and it's like, I don't love this. So it will always be that caveat. Uh, I think while we're also in the realm of doing some games also, I think maybe I will put House Flipper on the list of games to play for the channel because it's pretty sedate. It's a game that's really easy to pick up and put down at will, which is nice. But I also kind of want to avoid having, hour plus long videos. super frequently, yeah, it's fun to sit down and watch, but also, if there's no music, I'm going to have to fill the space with something. Okay. Alright. I think we're getting to a point where we're gonna have to. Okay. I think we're gonna have to get to the ladder soon. But while we're over here, why don't we do the eaves? We'll do this side before we do anything else. Hmm. Amazing how dirty all of this stuff is. Like, this feels less like natural dirt caking and more like someone got a hose and pumped mud through it. Okay. Mm. Also, should be noted that unfortunately, and I've seen a couple of people complaining about this, but if you find yourself playing the game, Ma keeps messaging me. They're getting really excited with how it's looking. Sounds like it's going great. Well, I'm trying. Um, if you're finding yourself playing the game, please note that as of a few months ago, at the latest, it seems, people have been complaining about uh save syncs and how they don't seem to be working. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna, boot up the game either for the first time in a while or uh, for the first time. And I don't know if it's exclusive to Game Pass or if it's just in general, but yeah, I've actually previously beaten the game, so or finished the game. I don't know if you call it beat. Um, I tried to sync my save and it just kind of doesn't. So if that's something that's a concern, you may want to keep that in mind. Okay. Okay. I do admittedly try to 5-star everything. I try not to leave anything, which can be a little irritating because it means a lot of times having to go back and go over everything. Which can be a pain sometimes, unfortunately, but yeah. Uh, in the gutter. I also kind of hate that they, like, get to a point where it's like, hey, you're going to have to clean the underside of these stairs. Like, great, but why do I have to get down on the ground to do that? But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Also fiddly bits that can be irritating to deal with. Mm, let's see. Yeah, like these posts right here. There we go. I want to finish the porch before we move on, or at least a good chunk of it. Uh, and then of course we have to go on the other side and do that. Mm. Yep. How did I miss that? There we go. I think we might be able to okay. Need 15 stars for that. Those are just skins. Ooh, the turbo nozzle. We can afford that. And we can afford the short extension. And we can afford the long extension, and that's where we'll start. So the turbo nozzle, I think, adds the spin to the 0 degree nozzle. And the short extension will make life a lot easier in regards to, you know, a number of things. And we also, I think, unlocked. Did we? Yeah, we can get the soap nozzle now, which will make. Yeah, it's only 75. We'll make that back up real quick. It just means that now we can actually start using soap. Unfortunately, the soap can be a little pricey and like can be a pain. But more often than not, it's actually worth spending the money buying because it cuts through some stuff really easily and makes life so much easier. The glass cleaner especially is really good. So I won't do it now, but I definitely will be buying soap, and I definitely will be using it. Just like I said, not at the moment. Not completely clean, but take care of that. Moving on. Okay, apparently even pops us up. I was rocking chair now having a look. Always really intrigued me because, like, you get the messages about how people are having a look at the job you're doing or something like that, and it's like, but where are these people? There's like, you appear to be the only person in the entire world other than the random person sending you messages. And I know it's probably a case of it's just easier to do it this way, but that way you don't have to like model so much. It always struck me as odd. Right? Okay. And I will absolutely be abusing the ability to see the dirt because it makes life easier. That way I can see what I've missed, and sometimes it can help clear up what you've missed. Sometimes it doesn't, though. Let's go with the extension. So we don't have to get up on the ladder before we absolutely need to, because getting up on the roof is a pain. And now that we can reach some of this stuff a little more easily, well, some. Some of that's just legitimately stuff that's not going to come off regularly. Okay. So what we'll do now is switch nozzles again. It's the door. It's the window. It's that window. Move on. Okay. Let's move on to the next window. Oh, I was not aware that it seems that good. Pressing tab to check the status of the dirt makes a noise. I don't know if you can hear it though. Very odd. Wasn't aware that that was a thing. Uh, or maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't know. Clean this window. I want getting up onto the roof to be like the last thing I do. Okay, no, it's absolutely not hitting the tab button and showing the dirt that's doing it. I don't know what's making that noise. But I hear it, and maybe you do too, but I'm not sure. There we go. That was fast. Okay. Not another window back here. Ooh. Okay. I think I might be able to. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think it is officially time to get on the roof. We'll start with the gutter. Do hate doing the roof, though. It always feels really precarious. Stuck on the ladder. There we go. There's that gutter. We got this one. It's that one. And we'll do this one. Okay. I'm gonna do this last one. There we go. That's the gutters all taken care of. Then we can just start doing the roof proper. Let's start with the chimney. We'll go back to the stubby one because it's close quarters. Of course, you can't forget getting the interior. Make sure you're getting everything. Okay. It actually make a little more sense to use something a little more broad. A lot more haphazard because the dirt on the roof is actually not nearly as bad as a lot of what the rest of the house is. This is, of course, the porch roof. I think it took significantly longer to do this when I played through, like, on my own the first time. I think it took me something like an hour or more. Probably also didn't help that I was technically on the clock when I first started playing this. Don't tell my previous boss. I mean, there's not much you can do about it, but, you know, still. Okay, that's torture. Moss. Eh, let's wait on that. It's all under here. The wall. And you just have to finish the roof. Which is a bit less than half. Okay. Take our time over the moss, so we don't have to switch nozzles. But I think even the 40-degree will get rid of the moss. You just have to kind of take your time with that. Also helps to be closer to it because the disperse dispersal of the pressure from the distance kind of makes things a little more difficult. Okay, just a little more. Mm, don't love that you get stuck on the ladder like that. Okay. Didn't love that. There we go. Not half bad. So actually, that is where we're gonna call it for today. So I have been Darknot. This has been PowerWash Simulator. I keep wanting to say Dragon Quest. Uh, and when we come back, I guess we are going to either do I think we're gonna do the playground. And if you enjoyed this video or any of the videos I've ever done, consider leaving it a like, consider giving the channel a subscribe, and consider hitting the notification bell so you know when I upload, even if I do it pretty frequently. Um, I also have a coffee. You can find me at coffee.com/dorkanaut if you are so inclined to leave me a tip. Yeah, come see me again, won't you? Goodbye.